Hey, what's up everyone, I'm Portugal and I'm here today with yet another new video. Now this is another different one, which means that this is not a series I have ever done, but I probably will do a few more of these. These are top 5 and I hope they're interesting because in my mind they are an interesting concept, but I'll do my best. So this is top 5 best and genuses for beginners. Okay, so if you're a beginner in ant keeping, or if you have a friend that is or either is a beginner or is wanting to get into ant keeping, you should probably show them this video because it will help them a lot when choosing which colony to get. Because first of all, I will say that when you start out, you probably should not spend money. You should try out catching a queen yourself. But either way, whether you want to buy a colony or find a queen or even find a small colony, which I don't do, but if you want to, I guess it's okay. I say that you should probably know the genus of that ant species, because the genus will help you a lot to know what you're getting into with that ant colony. So let's start off with number 5, which will be Phaidoli. And Phaidoli is also known as Bigheaded Ants, because in the colony you have the workers, which are very small, and the soldiers or the mages, which are by comparison about usually twice the size, and they have huge heads compared to their body size. So they're very interesting ant species in and of themselves. They are different. They are something that you don't see every day, but they are very easy to take care of. They take in insects and they're very eager to eat. They're very easy to take care of. They exist almost all throughout the world, and you can find them very easily. They're very easy to find. They're very easy to keep and to take care of. The problem with them is that they usually have, well, first of all, they're usually temperate species, right? And some of them are tropical, and the temperate species usually are a little bit more picky when it comes to temperature and humidity when compared to other temperatured ant species. In the case of the tropical, they're usually better at dealing with differences in temperatures than most tropical ant species. So I'd say that's both a bonus and a minus. However, they are very good at escaping because, first of all, the workers, they are very good climbers, so they'll cross barriers of PTFE or baby powder easily. So you've got to make sure you've got a big enough barrier and that they cannot cross the substance. If you use an upside down lid, you'll be fine. The thing is that the workers are very small, so they can fit through little cracks and in between sheets of glass or plastic. They can usually, in some species, they can very easily fit through. They also have the big mages, which means that if you use something like white tongue or something that's easily chewable, they'll easily just chew through it. Okay, so they are a little bit of an issue. There is a little bit of an issue when it comes to escaping, and they have this sort of mentality of escaping. They usually will try and test your barriers permanently, so you have to be sure that they keep the ant inside. Other than that, they're excellent. I mean, all the 5 ants on this species are just perfect for you to start out on. And they are also, I mean, I love them anyway. For example, Phaidoli is one of my favorite genus, and I'll say that any experienced ant keeper would like to keep this genus, not just because they're good for beginners, that they are interesting. They are extremely interesting. They're very cool. So, number 4. Formica. Okay, so Formica is a very diverse genus, but the majority of the Formica species are, I think they are all temperate, but I'm not sure. What I will say is that the majority of them are, and the majority of them are very easy to take care of. They have a little bit of a polymorphism in their ants, and they're very big. Well, they're medium sized, but they're easy to watch with the naked eye Well, Phytolli, not so much. But these are very easy to, and they're very active ant species, both during the day and during the night. And almost any ant species of these is very cool, and they exist all throughout the northern hemisphere. So you've got stuff like Formica fusca, Formica ramtiformica, and you've got tons of them that have these like little niches where they just eat a certain nectar of a certain plant, or they just eat honeydew, or they're just parasitic, and those are very niche, and those are definitely something that most people, even experts or very experienced people in ant keeping, will not keep because they're very specific to a certain location or certain condition. Most of the Formica species, however, are very simple to take care of. Most of them eat insects and sugars like almost any other ant, and they're very easy to take care of. They're very easy if you know the basics, and if you watch some of my videos on how to take care of ant species, you will quickly learn all the basics that you need about basically any ant species. But if you watch a certain video, you'll know basically everything you need to know about that certain ant species. So Formica, I think I have Formica fusca on my channel, and if you have, or you can get your hands on a Formica fusca colony to start, you can watch that video, which will help you just be very successful at it. So number 3, that will be Lacheus. Now Lacheus is a lot smaller than Formica, but I think they're comparable when it comes to care. Yeah, I'll say that they're comparable. They're very much the same. They eat insects and sugars, well, honey, sugar water, whatever. And they're very easy to take care of as well, and they do not seem to be very good at escaping, even though they're small. They're small, but not to a point where they're not something that you'll enjoy watching with the naked eye. They are big enough for that, and they're also small enough to where, first of all, they're very manageable in sizes, and second of all, they grow kind of fast for temperate species because of them being so small. They're very interesting, they're very cool, they're very active, and yeah, they're just very plain and basic. Most people will say that. They're also those niche, sort of like parasitic or something like that, species in Lacheus, but then again, don't keep those, keep everything else. And everything else will be perfect for a beginner and perfect for an expert as well, because they're very low maintenance. So it's just a colony that you have and can appreciate without giving it too much of your time and effort. So now we're coming up to the top of the top, the creme de la creme. So number 2 will be Camponotus. Okay, Camponotus is a genus that it might be the best genus because there are basically no downfalls to it. They're big, they're interesting, they're very varied. They have monogynous species, polymorphic species, they have a lot of polygynous species, and they have a lot of polymorphism in some species. They live in all sorts of places, they live all throughout the world. They have all sorts of colors, textures, and everything like that. And they come in a great variety of sizes, but they're mostly on the bigger end, and they have extremely large species. They're very easy to find, and they're very easy to take care of. They do develop very slowly compared to other ant species in their area and their climate. They do develop very slowly. However, they get to massive sizes. So if that's what you're looking for, something that grows a little bit slower, but then gets to an impressive like 10,000 ant colonies. There are Camponotus that do that. There are also Camponotus that just stay at like 500, 200 workers, which is also amazing. They're very easy to find if you want to find them, and they're very easy to take care of. They're very sugar hungry, so they'll take in a lot of honey and sugar water. Most of them will. Some of them are more carnivore turns. So, but they all also need insects or some form of protein. Now they are very easy. Some of them are very good climbers, so some of them will be able to cross barriers. But anything that's upside down will stop any Camponotus ant species from crossing unless they're big enough to just reach over and pull themselves, because they're still ants. They're still very very strong. Now, though Camponotus might be the best ant genus because of how varied and awesome it all is, I will say that my personal favorite genus, and especially my favorite genus when it comes to recommending for beginners, That will be Meza. Okay, so Meza exists all throughout Europe and Asia. So they are not as prominent and as well distributed like other ant genus in here, but they are the best. They're big, they're polymorphic in most cases. They can be polygynous and monogynous. They are species of both. They can handle temperatures and humidity very well. They can go a lot of time without water because they eat seeds. And that is amazing because, first of all, if you do not want to have to give your ants insects, you totally can get away with feeding only seeds to your Meza. Finally, they also eat seeds, but you can't get away with that because they're not as much of a granivore, than Meza. So with Meza, you can feed almost exclusively seeds and you'll have great success. They grow fairly quickly for an ant that gets such big workers sometimes. There are very small, but there are also very big Meza species, and they never get smaller than 5 millimeters for the workers, which I'll say is just perfect for watching with the naked eye. They are also very content with the space they're given, in my experience. They don't really try to escape all that often, and they aren't very much of an escape artist. They have very strong jaws to chew up seeds, so they will chew through white tongue and stuff like that. But other than that, they're very easily containable. So that's easy. Feeding them is easy. Taking care of them is extremely easy. Temperature and humidity are a breeze to take care of, and they are absolutely amazing to watch. And also they're active almost all throughout the day, though at night they slow down a bit, which is for most of us better because most of us slow down a bit to sleep at night. So that's the list. That's my top 5 list of ant species for beginners, and I hope you've liked it. And if you did, and if you learned something new, or if you have a friend that would like to know a little bit more about how to get into ant keeping, or if you yourself want to know a little bit more about how to get into ant keeping, I truly do hope that I've helped and that I can keep helping people with ant keeping on the channel. So bye bye.